You're listening to the American Adversaries Drive Time. And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. Bad.
All right, welcome back to the show, folks. Who was that? Diamond.
Alice DDP.
Well, I thought it was because I listened to my own commercial. All right, DDP. That's our man, DDP. All right, welcome back to the show, folks. That was General Lucas Paris, that other voice you just heard, and along with Aubrey Kahn, I am Christopher Hart. Thanks again for being with us tonight on Columbus Day. If you had the day off, I hope you made the most of it. If you did not have the day off, I hope it paid off for you. So we appreciate you being out there either way. And this being Columbus Day, I guess it's an appropriate time that we talk about this little story. You know, Jerry Brown's been busy signing new laws out in California. He signed into law last week, for instance, a rule requiring women's health centers, pregnancy centers, to provide information on abortions. Because as it was stated in the reporting of the law, that these centers were otherwise simply, how did they say it here? Let me find it. Merely these centers, these women's health centers, pregnancy centers in California, according to Jerry Brown in comments, they merely existed to coerce women into continuing their pregnancies. Coerce women into continuing their pregnancies. So I guess he's going to balance that by requiring them to provide information that would coerce them into having abortions.
Right.
Is that what it's all about here? Well, it's a new law.
He's going to probably try and make it mandatory.
Yeah, and by the way, at the same time that he signed this law into force, he also vetoed, I'm sorry, no, I'm getting ahead of myself. That one he signed last week, and it went in, and by the way, these laws will go into effect January 1st. And this particular one next will go into effect January 1st, 2017. It is a law banning the phrase or the word Redskins from any team name, any public school team name or mascot in the state of California. Now, it immediately affects 4 high schools around the state whose their name was Redskins, and so no longer in California. Now, this doesn't address if the Washington Redskins happen to come to San Francisco and play the 49ers. It doesn't ban them, evidently, but no state team can any longer use that phrase. And coincidentally, however, at the same time that he signed that into law, he vetoed a bill that would have banned the use of Confederate names on public properties. In other words, that white racist is going to continue to allow Confederate names to be used on public properties in California, but he's not going to allow the word Redskins to be used. So, thank you very much, Mr. Moonbeam Brown. All right, now tomorrow night is the first of 6 Democratic debates. It will be a CNN debate. They're holding it in Las Vegas, of all places. And Anderson Cooper, I believe, is going to be one of the moderators. And interestingly enough, Anderson Cooper has announced that he will not do what he accused Fox of doing, but also actually CNN did with their debate, and that is to try to pit the candidates one against another. Now, I wonder why they're not going to do that. In the Democratic debate, they're not going to go to Bernie Sanders and say, well, Mr. Sanders, Hillary Clinton says you're the scum of the earth. What do you say about that?
She's right.
And they're not going to go to Hillary Clinton and say, Bernie Sanders says you're a slut. What about that?
Ask Bill.
Well, he knows because he hangs out with him, right? Anyway, It appears as though CNN has seen the error of their ways and the error of the Fox News, Megyn Kelly and all them, their ways of trying to get these Republicans to go at one another. Well, for that reason and the fact of who's actually going to be on stage, I think Donald Trump's comments about tomorrow night's debate are probably most prophetic. He said people will probably tune in for about 15 minutes, get bored, and then turn it off.
Unless they invite him on.
Yeah.
That would liven it up, wouldn't it?
It would indeed. Another thing that would actually liven it up would be if one Joe Biden shows up. And evidently they have a podium ready and waiting for him, should he decide to do that.
Are you sure that's not the empty chair?
I love it. By the way, folks, don't forget, you heard it here first. I've been saying for weeks, if not a couple of months now, that Joe Biden, look out. I do still feel like he's going to get into this race. If he gets into the race, he will be the nominee. If for no other reason, and this is now, evidently this came out in a report today, and not from Ed Klein, from a different source, that indeed Barack Obama does want Joe Biden to run for president. Barack Obama does not want the Clintons to follow him into the White House. I have been telling you that for weeks, if not months now. And as a matter of fact, this source went as far as to say that Barack Obama would like to see Duval Patrick as Joe Biden's running mate for vice president. So Valerie Jarrett, and Michelle have already got it all planned out. I've been telling you about it for weeks. The Obamas and the Clintons hate one another. Why would Barack Obama want Hillary Clinton to follow him in office? I'm telling you, I guarantee you, somebody eventually is going to write this little factoid, that Barack Obama would rather see, and I'm sure he's already said it, that he would rather see Jeb Bush as president than Hillary Clinton.
Hillary would make him, Hillary's even further left than he is.
Well, but it's not so much that, it's ego. And it's the fact that the Obamas basically, other than Hillary Clinton being Secretary of State, had nothing to do with the Clintons. There's no personal relationship there.
No,
so the Obamas understand that if the Clintons get into the White House, they will have more of a chance to go back to the White House if Jeb Bush is president than if Hillary Clinton. They will be persona non grata. They will be yesterday's news. It will all be about Hillary Clinton and the history-making achievement of the first woman president. And the first black president will be nothing. And he knows that. He can't stand it. They can't stand one another. He wants his guy in there, and he would rather see Jeb Bush in there than Hillary Clinton. I guarantee you. Now, he wouldn't want to see a Donald Trump in there, I don't think.
No, or a Ben Carson.
Or a Ted Cruz. But pretty much any of the rest of them,
any of the rest he'll take.
He'll take. That's right.
Except for Carly.
Perhaps, yes. But I don't know. Even with her, I kind of have sometimes my doubts.
No, because I think they would love Michelle to run to be the first woman president.
Well,
and the first black woman president.
Yeah, but once again, this goes beyond that. This is personal. It's like Klein wrote in his book. This is a blood feud. These families do not like one another, and the egos are they're two egos just that won't fit in the same room. I don't care the size of the room, and so Obama will do everything he can to prevent Hillary Clinton from following him into the White House, and I do believe that Joe Biden is a big part of that plan.